Hey there and welcome. Today, we're going on an absolutely amazing journey to explore rivers. Have you ever wondered where all that flowing water actually comes from and where it's going? Well, in this explainer, we're going to travel from high up in the mountains all the way down to the sea. So let's just dive right into the big question, shall we? How exactly does water travel from the very top of a mountain down to the ocean? Well, gravity pulls everything down, right? And water is no different. Let's follow the water's path and see how it literally shapes our Earth.
All right, part one. What exactly is a river?
Simply put, a river is a natural flow of water. It's constantly moving from its start all the way down to its end. And why? Because of gravity. Gravity is always pulling that water downward. And as it moves, the river actually shapes the land by carrying water, rocks, and soil to totally new places. It's kind of like nature's bulldozer. Moving on to part two, let's break down the main parts of a river on its journey downstream. You see, every river's journey has to start somewhere, and we call that spot its source. This is the high place where the water first begins to flow. It could be a tiny spring bubbling up from the ground, a quiet lake, a wet swamp, or even a giant melting glacier high up in the freezing mountains. As that water travels, it creates a channel and banks. The channel is the deepest part, kind of like a natural pipe where the water flows. The banks are the dry land right next to the water on both sides. They act like walls, safely guiding the river as it moves along. Now, along the way, the river actually grows, and that's because of tributaries. Tributaries are basically just smaller rivers or streams that flow right into the main river channel. They add more and more water, making the main river bigger and stronger as it travels downstream. Finally, this long journey wraps up at a place we call the mouth. The mouth is where the river pours all of its water out. It usually empties into a huge sea, a large lake, or sometimes an even bigger river. This is the finish line.
Okay, part three. Let's zoom in a bit and look inside the river valley.
Over thousands of years, a river literally carves out a valley, and right next to the water is the floodplain. This is a low, really flat area. When it rains heavily, the water rises and floods this land, leaving behind super rich soil. Higher up, you'll spot steppe-like areas called terraces. Terraces are actually very old floodplains, but because the river cut deeper into the ground over time, the water just doesn't reach up there anymore. All right, part four, systems and river basins. Let's zoom out and look at the big picture. First up, let's talk about a river system. A river isn't just one single line of water. A river system is the main river working together with every single one of its tributaries. Basically, the more tributaries there are, the larger the river system becomes.
Next is the river basin. You can kind of think of a basin like a giant bowl. The river basin is a huge area of land. When rain falls absolutely anywhere inside this massive area, it flows down into that one main river system. So the larger the basin, the more water the river gets.
But wait, what stops the water from spilling over into a different basin? Well, that's the job of the watershed, which is sometimes called a divide. High up in the mountains, a watershed acts like a giant wall. If a raindrop falls on the left side of the mountain, it rolls down to join one river basin. But if it falls on the right side, it flows away into a completely different river system. Pretty cool, right? Part 5. Let's see how absolutely everything connects to make the full cycle happen. Check out how perfectly this natural cycle connects step by step. Step 1, rain falls on the land. Step 2, that water flows into small streams. Step 3, these streams join together as tributaries to form a big river system. Step 4, all this water collects inside a large river basin. Step 5, neighboring basins are separated by a high watershed. And finally, Step 6, the big river flows through its channel all the way down to its mouth. And finally, part 6. Let's go over some fun facts about rivers and their real-world impacts. 7 million. To be exact, 7 million square kilometers. That massive number is the incredible size of the Amazon River Basin. It is literally the largest river basin on Earth. It receives so much rain and holds just an amazing amount of water. And here are a few more amazing facts. The Nile River is one of the longest river systems in the entire world. Also, remember those floodplains we talked about? Well, because floods leave behind dark, rich soil, floodplains are absolutely perfect for farming. Finally, humans just love rivers. For thousands of years, many large cities were built right next to rivers because they give us fresh water, food, and a really easy way to travel in boats. You know, every river has so many parts working perfectly together. Rivers shape the land, they support plants and animals, and they provide fresh water for all of us. They are truly one of Earth's most important natural systems. So, I'll leave you with this thought. Next time you see rain falling, ask yourself, where is that water going, and what great river will it finally meet? Thanks for hanging out and learning with me in today's Explainer.